Move. You said simply, not raising your voice, not even sparing the trembling man a glance. The manager of the luxury auction house froze for half a second, just half, before instinct made him step aside. He wasn't afraid of your words, he was afraid of you, afraid of the name you carried, afraid of the shadow behind you that was John Junker. But more than anything, he was afraid because he knew the truth. You didn't need Jungkook to be feared. You were a storm on your own. Gasps rippled through the crowd as you walked forward, heels clicking against the marble floor with lethal elegance. The diamond tiara on the pedestal shimmered under the lights, untouched, unsold. It wasn't even on the catalog. A piece meant to sit in glass cases, never to adorn a head. But the moment your gaze lingered on it, silence fell. Every whisper stopped. Every man and woman in that room realized it was no longer the auction house's property. Your hand brushed the edge of the glass case slightly, almost lazily. Send it to the mansion, you said, already turning your back. No debate, no hesitation. The staff bowed instantly. No one in their right mind would say no. From the back of the hall, a few guests exchanged nervous looks. One leaned in to whisper, "She didn't even ask the price." The other swallowed hard because the price doesn't apply to her. She's John Jungkook's wife. She can have anything she wants. As you stepped into the night air, the cameras flashed wildly. Photographers caught your silhouette against the glowing building, caught the curve of your lips as though you owned the entire city behind you, and perhaps you did. Jungkook appeared beside you then, emerging from the shadows as though he had been there all along. Silent, observant, endlessly entertained. His tailored suit glinted faintly under the city lights, his expression unreadable except for the slight curve of a smirk tugging at his lips. "You terrify them," he murmured, voice low laced with pride. You slid on your sunglasses, tilting your chin ever so slightly. "I don't terrify them, I own them." His laugh was deep, husky, vibrating against the night. "And that's why I married you." You stopped, turning your head to look at him, smirk mirroring his. "Don't pretend you married me for anything other than survival. You know I would have devoured you otherwise." His eyes darkened, gaze locked on yours. "And who says I didn't want to be devoured?" For a moment, the two of you stood in the chaos of flashing cameras and hushed voices, locked in a stare that burned hotter than the city's lights. Jungkook finally looked away, running a hand through his dark hair. The movement drew your eyes lower, and that's when you saw it, the glint of black metal in his breast pocket. Sleek, untouchable, the card no one else dared to even breathe near. The infamous black card. Your lips curved instantly like a cat who just spotted prey. Hmm, you hummed under your breath, deliberately slow, deliberately loud enough for him to hear. "Interesting." His eyes flickered to you, sharp and amused. "What?" You licked your bottom lip, tilting your sunglasses down just enough for him to see the gleam in your eyes. "Nothing," you said, stepping into the waiting car with a sway of your hips. "Absolutely nothing." But inside your mind already buzzed with mischief. Because if there was one thing you loved more than owning rooms full of trembling men, it was playing dangerous games with the only man who dared smirk back at you. And tonight you had just spotted the perfect weapon. The morning sun streamed through the glass wall of Jungkook's private gallery, catching on sculptures worth more than entire buildings. He stood at the head of the room, sleeves rolled up, leaning over blueprints of a skyscraper that would soon rewrite Manhattan's skyline. He didn't look up where your heels clicked across the polished floor. He didn't need to. He already knew when it was you. You dropped this, you said casually, tossing the black card onto the glass table. It landed with a sharp clink against the crystal decanter, sliding across the papers until it stopped at his wrist. Jungkook finally glanced up, one brow arcing. Oh, his voice was calm, too calm. Didn't think you would notice. You scoffed, crossing your arms. Didn't think I would notice? Please. It was practically begging to be picked up. You flash it like it's an accessory. He smirked, setting the pen down and leaning back in his leather chair. Maybe I wanted you to. Your eyes narrowed, the corners of your lips twitching. Careless John. No, he corrected smoothly, gaze locked on you. Calculated. You tilted your head, studying him. What game are you playing? The same one I always play, the one where you either break me or I break you. You laughed, sharp and rich. You have tried to break me before, Jungkook. It never works. His smirk widened. Then maybe I'll try something different. He tapped the card against the table, then pushed it toward you with two fingers. Take it. You blinked slowly, feigning boredom, though your pulse spiked. Excuse me. Take it, he repeated. Use it, spend it until your heart is satisfied. He leaned forward, elbows on the table, gaze burning through you. Consider it an experiment. You let out a laugh, tilting your head back. An experiment? To check if I'm a gold digger, huh? He smiled. You are my gold, sweetheart, but let's see if I really married a gold digger. The word rolled off his tongue deliberately, taunting, testing. Your lips parted, a wicked smell spreading. Gold digger. You echoed, stepping closer, your heels clicking against the floor like a countdown. That's what the world calls me, isn't it? That I married John Jungkook for his money. His eyes flicked down as you placed both hands flat on the table, leaning toward him until you were inches away. But you whispered, you know better. The air between you crackled, heavy and thick, and yet, he said softly, I want to see you prove it. You tilted your head, eyes glinting dangerously. So that's your grand plan? Hand your queen a loaded weapon and wait to see if she shoots you with it. Jungkook's smirk was lethal. I like dangerous games, and you are the only one who can beat me at mine. For a moment, silence stretched between you, filled only by the hum of the city outside. Then, with a slow, savage smile, you snatched the card from the table and slipped it into your clutch. Fine, you said, straightening, already turning away, but don't cry when the bank calls. Jungkook leaned back in his chair. His laugh was low, husky, almost proud. They wouldn't dare call you. All right then, John. I'll have a good time today. Bye. Your heels echoed down the hall as you left, the card burning in your possession like a blade you had every intention of using. And Jungkook sat there in his glass fortress, eyes gleaming because he knew one thing for certain: he had just unleashed chaos into the world. And he loved you too much to stop it. The first stop was Milan. Your silhouettes clicked sharply against the marble floors of the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, a private shopping section cleared just for you. The air smelled of leather and power. Luxury boutiques had prepared their finest collections, expecting you to glance, maybe choose one or two. They underestimated you. I'll take the collection, you said simply, flicking your wrist at the display of limited edition handbags. The saleswoman blinked. The entire collection? Your sunglasses slid down slightly as you gave her a single look. Sharp, amused, terrifying. She swallowed. Yes, madam, of course. You didn't buy them for yourself. Within minutes, the designer bags were rerouted to an orphanage foundation in Milan for auction. Proceeds destined for feeding children. Next, Paris. Private jet flashing cameras, whispers that ripple through the crowd at Charles D. She's here. You walk straight into the gala hall where a charity auction had been dragging on for hours. Bidding wars, $1 million hesitations, men sweating over their bank accounts. Enough, you said as you entered. The crowd stilled instantly. You lifted the black card, placed it on the bidding podium, and announced, "Everything, I'll take it all." Gasps rang out, tens of millions in artwork, sculptures, and jewels, snapped in one stroke. The host stammered, "Madam, that's unprecedented." "Then get used to it." You cut him off coldly. "Ship them to the nearest shelters. Every cent belongs to the children." The entire hall erupted in applause, the cameras flashing like gunfire. Headlines wrote themselves. By the time you reached South Asia, you weren't just spending, you were rewriting lives. Entire plots of land were signed under your name for orphanage, a wing of a hospital bore your surname by sundown. To the public, you were an unstoppable force. To the banks, a nightmare. Meanwhile, in Jungkook's office, his private banker stood sweating in front of his desk, clutching trembling reports. "Sir, forgive me, but your wife is spending extraordinary amounts, tens of millions in just hours." Jungkook didn't even look up from his glass of whiskey. His lips quirked faintly, and the banker cleared his throat nervously. "She's funding 3 hospitals in Africa, buying land for orphanage in South Asia, a full wing at a university in Europe. It's endless." Jungkook leaned back, finally meeting the man's terrified eyes. A soft laugh escaped his lips, dark and dangerous. "Let her." But sir, Jungkook's gaze turned lethal in an instant, his voice a blade. "Do you value your job?" The banker froze, heart hammering. Yes, sir." "Then never question my wife again." Jungkook said smoothly, swallowing his drink. "Every cent she spends builds empires. If she burns money, it becomes diamonds. If she breathes, the world kneels. Let her do whatever she damn well please." The banker bowed and left in silence, knowing he had just stared death in the eye. Jungkook leaned back with a sigh. "Seems like I made you mad, huh?" That evening you lounged across the velvet chairs in the penthouse living room, silk robe flowing, glass of wine in hand. The massive windows behind you framed the glowing city. Skyline, a kingdom you practically owned. On your tablet you scrolled headlines. "Billionaire Queen funds entire children's hospital." "No one says no to her." "John Jungkook's wife turns luxury into legacy." You smiled faintly, not bad for a day's work. The soft sound of footsteps echoed across the marble floor. Jungkook appeared in the doorway, still in his suit, tie loosened, his eye burning with something between amusement and admiration. "You're not stopping, are you?" he asked, voice low, almost like a challenge. You tilted your glass of wine, swirling it lazily. "Why? Are you afraid?" He didn't say anything. He took a deep breath. "Well, not until you apologize." He chuckled, moving closer, his gaze never leaving yours. "You have spent $500 million in 2 days. You are making my board of directors cry in their sleep." Good. You said flatly, taking another sip. Let them cry harder. Maybe they will learn the value of money. Jungkook's smirk deepened as he crouched beside the chase, his hand brushing your ankle, sliding dangerously upward. Tell me, my queen, what happens when I don't apologize? Your eyes gleamed, lips curving into a slow, savage smile. Then I make sure your empire belongs to me by the weekend. He froze for a beat, then laughed, low, husky, and shaken. His hand tightened around your leg. God, I love you. You tilted your chin, every inch the untouchable queen. Of course you do, the world does too. Days passed, the empire burst with your thunder. Every CEO under Jungkook whispered your name with reverence. Shareholders bowed their heads when you entered the room. Afraid to meet your gaze, rivals who once mocked Jungkook now stayed silent, terrified of what you could do with one swipe of that limitless card. And Jungkook, he watched it all unfold with a quiet storm brewing inside him, but the game was still unfinished. That night, the city glowed like molten diamonds beneath the penthouse balcony. You stood draped in silk, champagne glass in hand, the wind teasing your hair. The skyline was yours. Behind you, the glass door slid open with a whisper. Jungkook stepped out, his presence heavy and commanding. You have made your point, he said, voice low, eyes sharp as steel. You didn't even turn, you lifted your glass lazily to your lips, tasting the bubbles. Not yet. His jaw ticked. He moved closer, the sound of his shoes against the marble deliberate and slow. Let's end this game, sweetheart. Finally, you glanced at him over your shoulder, smirking. Oh, I'm not playing Jungkook, I'm teaching. Teaching me what? His tone was a dangerous growl now. That I'm not a decoration you can place on your arm. Then, when you question me, you turn fully, eyes blazing. You question yourself. His gaze darkened, chest rising and falling. Say it. He demanded softly, stepping closer until the heat of him was on your skin. Say you are not what they think you are. You tilted your head unbothered and smiled like sin itself. Why would I say what you already know? The only thing I want is your apology. The silence that followed was suffocating, filled with the weight of his pride battling against his need for you. His hand flexed at his side, the muscle in his jaw tightening. Finally, Jungkook exhaled, voice rough, almost breaking. I'm sorry for ever challenging you. Your lips curved slowly, you stepped forward, closing the final distance, and with one nail you traced the sharp line of his jaw. Good, remember it. His hand shot out, gripping your waist, pulling you flush against him. You drive me insane, he hissed against your ear. You laughed low and dangerous. That's because you thought you could tame me. I never wanted to tame you. His forehead pressed against yours now, eyes burning into yours. I wanted to see if anyone in this world could match me. Turns out, it's my wife. Your heart fluttered, though you would never admit it. Instead, you smirked, sliding your free hand up to rest on his chest. Careful, John Jungkook. Keep talking like that, and I might start believing you can keep up. His lips quirked in the faintest smirk, but his voice was still raw. Oh, I can keep up. Question is, can you survive me when I stop holding back? The champagne glass dangled between your fingers as you whispered, try me. And then, with the city burning beneath your feet, Jungkook kissed you like a man surrendering to war and winning it all at once.